on the road to recovery in Castle Rock, Colorado. Live from Millville, New Jersey, I'm on the road to recovery. We're on the road to recovery in Morgantown, West Virginia at Mountaineer Field. And live in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I'm on the road to recovery. Here I am on the road to recovery from Berlin, Maryland. Hey, from Caseville, Michigan, I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery at Ann Arbor, University of Michigan. On the road to recovery in West Palm Beach, Florida with Sharon Leonard. Sharon's one of those people that once you meet her in 5 minutes, you feel like you've known her your entire life. She's like a little sister, and her story is not only unique and compelling, but she tells it with such passion, and that passion is really behind her drive to help so many other people find the journey she's on, recovery. This is Sharon's story.
It started when I was 11. It started smoking marijuana, and then I guess by the time I was 12, I thought I was smoking marijuana, and then I ended up smoking PCP, and I just kind of went out of my mind with that, and then ended up in jail at the age of 13, which back then they didn't have treatment or anything because it was in the 70s, so they just put everybody together in a mental institution, and that's how I ended up there. And I stayed there, like I said, for 4 years. And like I said, when I got out, I didn't know how to function in society, so I went back to the drugs, but then I ended up in harder drugs.
She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it.
And that lasted for about a year and a half, and then I just felt God's presence. I don't know how to explain it. I knew that He didn't like the way I was living, and I knew that He loved me. But I didn't know how to connect with God.
For Jesus said in His holy book, behold, I stand at the door and knock.
And I knew if something didn't change in my life, I would just end up in prison or back in the institution or dead. So I cried out to Him and turned my life over to Him. And at that time, I was able to flush the drugs down the toilet with no effort of my own. I know it was God. And I did well until 1997. I ended up in the hospital with physical problems, and the doctor prescribed me, he literally called himself Dr. Feelgood, and he prescribed me Vicodin. And I immediately fell in love with that pill. It was my secret for years, and it led to a 10-year addiction, which I ended up ruining my life, a 25-year marriage, hurting a lot of people, and I tried to take my life. I felt like I failed God and He failed me, and literally stuck up my fist to Him, and took 90 pills with alcohol, and I really thought I was going to be dead. And 3 days later, I was found by my daughter and niece, and I couldn't believe that I lived. And a little while later, my sister did an intervention on me, and I ended up going into treatment. Well, after the suicide attempt, and I didn't die, knowing that I should have died, and all the people that I hurt, then Jesus became even more real to me. It was like, how could someone love me so much? And the one thing that I learned through this is that God will never run away from me, but He will run to me. And no matter how hard I tried to run away from God, He was always pursuing me. And I've never known a love like that. It's amazing. I wasn't able to put my life back together in my marriage, but God has given me a new song. He's given me new mercy, and so now I've dedicated my life to reaching out to others in addiction and to share the love of Jesus with them. I never imagined that I could actually get out of bed without a pill, and I can't even imagine. I don't even know how I lived so long with that, and I can't imagine going back to that. I mean, it's freedom. It's freedom to me. That's the most rewarding thing. I guess the hardest part is. I just have a passion for people in addiction and mental illness, and so I have hope for them. But if I didn't have God, I would have no hope. And so I mean, like I said, I've just dedicated my whole life to sharing recovery with other people and the love of God. And the hardest part is the ones that don't receive it and watching them die. That's the hardest part in this. Like, there's no words for that. It moves me to tears. And a lot of ones that I've worked with in the 5 years that I've been down here, not only are they in recovery, but their lives are growing, and then they're just reaching out to others, and it's just growing and growing. Well, I think it's like a light. You're the candle in the dark room, and someone showed you, and so you just keep passing the candle to the next person, and you just light up the whole room. I mean, we are to be the light in the dark world.
Sharon, thank you so much for not only telling your story, but really coming into my life and allowing me to share your life with other people. You're inspiring, and I hope people share your story with people who are maybe thinking they can't find their path to recovery, because recovery is possible and it's happening every single day. I love telling these stories. I love meeting people who are in recovery, strengthening my recovery, strengthening yours. Please reach out and tell us a story that needs to be told. Let me tell it. Let me share it with others. I'm Michael De Leon from West Palm Beach, Florida, and we'll see you on the next episode of On the Road to Recovery.